Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bin Chicken's Vinyl Fair podcast, season 2. This is a very special episode of the podcast. This is a video version of the podcast. Normally, you just hear the audio with my guests, but I'm lucky enough to be spending some time with Marie from Out of the Past Records. Marie, welcome to the podcast.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
First question I have for you, Marie, is how did you get started in selling vinyl?
We got started because I should mention that I worked in the suburbs and I saw a record shop over there. The guy had a shoe shop, repair shop, and he had records in it. So my idea was, since my husband had a photography studio, I asked him, I said, would you like to have records in here? That's what I really asked him. And he kind of hesitated, but then he said, we'll try it. So we went with the studio. We put records in there. That's how I got started. Got started selling records from our studio, photography studio. And that was Henderson back in the 63 is when we opened up the studio. We started records in 69. We started selling the records then.
And how did you decide what records that you were going to sell out of the studio?
Well, since we're in our neighborhood, and it's like, our neighborhood is like a black clientele neighborhood. It has all, it's been there. We would only we had the R&B. Really, we sold records. We major sold records. I have to take that back. We sold R&B, we sold jazz, we sold rock. We had some rock because there was a lot of good rock out then. So the variety, we just sold a variety of everything in there.
Okay. And at what point did you realize we need to stop making this just a side business with the studio and kind of just blow it up into its own store?
Well, the studio business lasted a while. It lasted till like 1970. Let's see, we was in it 63, 70, like 70. I guess the studio business slowed down around in the late 70s. And so we were into the record business then, so we decided to just do the record shops.
Okay.
Because we had a wig store on one side of the street, and it had records in it too. So we always managed to put records in whatever we went into. If we went into one business, we would take the records with us, and it was like a good, overhaul, bring clientele, bring people in because of what you had.
So you had a number of outlets and stores that you had at one time.
We basically had a lot of record shops around the city, and our main stores was the one on Madison in Pulaski. It's 3948 West Madison, and then we had the one at South Pulaski. Those were the record shops. Along with we had a studio in the 4000 block on Pulaski. That was a record shop. So basically, we really clientele to records later on in the years.
Mm-hmm.
When we stuck to it, and we're sticking to it now.
And once the 8-tracks came around, you guys dabbled in that too, cassette tapes?
Well, the LPs was going good. The 45s was going good. 8-tracks, we went into 8-tracks. We did 8-tracks. It didn't last as long as it would normally you thought it would. But the 8-track lasted for several years. And then from there, we went to the cassettes. The cassettes lasted for several years. Quite a while before the CDs came out. So we went into the CDs, but we always kept our records with whatever we did. We kept our records. And I just called it my happy time. I love the records.
Yeah.
We love buying them. Yeah, we do.
This is the 2019 is going to be the first year since 1986 that vinyl sales are bigger than CD sales. It's first time in 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
So that's pretty exciting.
Well, it should have been that way anyway. To my opinion, now, everybody don't feel the same as I do. But my husband always said the records would never go away. That's why we kept with him. And he was the type of person that if he saw something that was going good, he stuck with it. He has always stuck with the records, even though we had went to different adventures. We always was stuck with the record shop because we know people love music, and if they can get it any kind of way they want, they'll get it. Now I notice now that the new thing is the USBs, but it's not gonna hurt. I think the vinyl, because vinyl. I think vinyl is the best thing with records. I don't care what else you do. It's just the sound. It's a different sound for any other thing you put on it when you put a record on the record player. And you can ask the young DJs or the older DJs, they say they love the sound of the record. the needle on the record. That's the best thing that's going for.
I agree with you there. That's what got me into records 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to start DJing, and something about, like you said, just putting the needle on the record and hearing the sound. It's a warm sound. It's a rich sound.
Sound like it's coming right to you.
Yeah.
Even with a crack in the record, if it go boop, boop, it still sounds good, you know. Yeah. It does.
So I definitely agree that vinyl's the best way to listen to music.
Vinyl's
and it's never going anywhere.
It's not going to go out.
Until they come up with something better, and they haven't so far.
They haven't so far. They've tried it, but nothing lasts. I don't care what people say. They say, oh, the CDs sound so good. Put a CD on and you put the vinyl on and you stand there long enough, you're going to hear the difference in the sound of that CD and the sound of that record with that needle on it. And people love it. You know, it's something they love.
Yeah. So how do you decide what kind of stuff you're selling now?
Well, you know what? It's what we're selling at, we just basically selling music. You can't, you know, a lot of R&B and a lot of blues. R&B and blues is going now. Everybody's looking for blues and R&B and a lot of rock, you know, but it's hard to find stuff that's you're not going to see for a while. And they're going to reissue maybe, but a lot of stuff that's out of print is what people are looking for mostly.
Do you have favorite artists of your own that you like to listen to again and again?
I like to listen to older music. I like the doo-wops. I do have some favorite artists. I just wrote them down too. It's the songs bound, you know, the artists. I like a lot of favorite songs by different artists.
Okay. What are some of the songs that you like?
Well, you might not even know them. But
I might know some of them. I might surprise you. Maybe one of them. If I know one of them, I'll feel good.
Okay. Do you? Okay. I have one song. Let me pull my little paper out.
Yeah, pull the paper out. Take your time.
Oh, what do I do with my little paper?
I want to see if I know one of them.
I don't. You know what? You might. But I know when I first started into the record business, it was a group called Bread. You know that song? I want to make it with you. I used to love that song.
The group Bread?
Yeah, I love that song. I just loved it. It was because you
Is
know
it the one I'm a Want You?
Okay, is that Bread? Hey, have you heard? I want to make it with you. Is that's that? Because some songs when they come out, they have a meaning. And I like songs that give you meaning to them. I don't like them when you just go off and you don't know what they're talking about. So I used to love that song. There was one of the songs I would play it all the time. My husband would say, "Take that thing off."
You were just trying to let him know, though. You know.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, come on.
And then there was another song. Now I know you don't know this, but they get at me about this one in here. Every time this guy played, he said, "Marie, they buying your song." You know what that song is, don't you, Nis? That song is "Where Were You When I Needed You" by the Main Ingredients. It is so gorgeous. I love that song. I love it. It just has a meaning to it. I like songs with meaning, and so when I listen to them, it makes me think. It makes it think. And then there's a guy. Now this song just came out recently. It's by E.J. Reynolds. He used to sing, I think, with the Dramatics, and he made this song. It's True I Love You. You have to listen to it because when you hear it, it makes you think about what you're listening to. And if you have a spouse, it makes you think about your husband and the relationship you have together. So things like that give me a meaning to them, see. So those songs like that, I love sentimental songs, okay?
Well, see, I'm putting together a little love CD for my girlfriend right now, so.
I don't know if you like all these.
I may have to check out some of these. They might make the list.
I don't know, because she might say, "What you mean?"
Hey, you know, just trying to expand horizons.
Well, I tell you what, if you later, I'll let you hear a little of them. But, you know, but those are the songs that I really like, you know. It's just that I like stuff with like, if you're saying something to somebody, you really mean it, you know. And so I've been married 58 years, guys, so it's something.
Congratulations.
It's something that 59 coming up next year. So it's just that I like it. And, you know, my artist that I like now is Mary J. Blige. I like her music. I like her. She has a little meaning to some of her songs. Like some of the younger women, like Mary J. Blige and Jill Scott. You know, some of them, I listen to some of these songs because some of them have true meaning to them, you know. I don't like to go off into the deep blue yonder with stuff. I like to come level it down so I can get understanding.
Real world experiences.
Yes.
Things that everybody can relate to.
Yeah, you know, I can really. My granddaughter back there listening.
Now, do you have your own personal collection of records at home, or do you just?
Let me tell you about my personal collection of records. My children, we used to collect records and keep them at home. So when my kids was younger, we had a basement full of records, 45s. I had a whole box. I used to just keep them, put them in there. I come home one day from work, and guess what they were doing? They were playing, what you call it, frisbee? Is that when you throw? They were throwing them up against the garage and cracked my record. They cracked my record. So my husband said, that did it. We're not going to do it anymore. But I just like records. If I see something I like, favorite, I just take it take it home to listen to it. Because I don't listen to records. I don't play the record player like I used to. We used to play it all the time. Mm-hmm. But we haven't been doing it because as we got older, you kind of get away from it. You listen to music and stuff. So but I did. I had records at one time. I don't have anything there now.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't. But if I need something, if I like it, I just take it out the store, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But most of the times I just come in and listen to my music in the morning when I'm in here and let it go at that.
Start your day off right.
Yeah, start my day off. I take stuff home. I hate to say it, good people, I love my vinyl, but I have a USB I stick at home in a little thing, or a CD I stick at home in a little thing. Because I don't have time to be running back to the record player now. Right. But I'll be honest, most people say, no, but I do.
It's convenient to have the modern technology, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little modern and a little old-fashioned, too.
Are there any records that are like the holy grail records that you've never seen or you want to see, you want to have your hands on that you just haven't been able to get?
Now, there are some records that are hard to find, and I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget them. I know they're not, some of them are hard to find, and some of them are not, but when you find them in such bad shape, you wish you could get a good copy of it. Now, that was a 45 by Vernon Garrett called, it just went away from me. What's the Vernon Garrett 45?
I think she's indicating she does not know.
Yeah. But it was a record by Vernon Garrett, and we get copies of it, but you never can get a good copy.
Yeah.
It always sounds like it's got an echo in it.
What's on Crossroads?
Crossroad. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, there you go.
Vernon Garrett Crossroad. It has it's if you get a real good copy of that, you really appreciate it. But
you haven't seen one yet.
Haven't gotten one yet.
Yeah.
Haven't gotten one yet. And then there's an LP I've been looking for it because one of my customers asked me for it. And I think it may be online, but it's the main ingredients called Magic Chew. I've never seen it. I may have it here. If I ever come across it, it might come through some of this stuff I got piled up I don't know about. But I have been looking for it. And then there's another record called by Eddie Fisher. And that was the one that I had a customer looking for it. It's Inside of You. Now, I think you can find it, but I haven't seen it in any of the stores. And so possibly it might show up somewhere, In Maggot Brain by the Parliaments. Funkadelics, Maggot Brain. Mm-hmm. That's a hard for. You can't get. Sometimes you can get good copies of stuff, but it's hard to get those copies because I usually get them in used. They're not in very good shape, but you never see a clean copy of none of those records. To me, I had them at one time. I may still have them in the basement, good people, but I do not know for sure. But I have to go down there and do a little cleaning to find it.
Have you heard of Sonia Spence? A song called "Let Love Flow On." It was like a 1981. She was from Jamaica. It was like a rare groove record.
Oh, see, now I haven't seen that one. I had some records from Jamaica. You know what? I got some Jamaica records here too.
I may take a look through some of those.
You might have to come. You might have to come look through those 45s because I do have some. White girl.
Speaking to the cat, of course, not Julie, who is also a white girl.
I forgot to say it.
Oh, you see how she was just waiting for what you were going to say.
Well, good people, I have a cat in here. And her name
beautiful cat.
I have a beautiful white cat in here, and her name is White Girl. So, in case you all think I'm being radical, and we love her, we may eventually get a picture so you can see what we're talking about. She has one blue eye and one green eye, and she's always into things. So she's sitting over there looking at Julie.
She's digging in the crates herself right now.
She's looking at Julie as if she want to say hello.
Now, how
You want to have a good interview. People gonna love that.
now how many? You said there's a basement here that's got all sorts of records in it.
I got a basement down there with records in it. I got a back room with records in it. I got an outer room back there with records in it. 8 tracks and cassettes in them. And some of the records I've been trying to pull back. We have so much stuff back there because, like I said, I've been packing because we had to close the store down. And a lot of stuff is in the way. But we also have movies here, like the DVDs, VHSs. It's a ride. That's what we call it. It's a warehouse.
And people like to come in here and spend a couple hours just digging through things.
I have had customers come from England, France. I have one guy. He's a real good customer. He says he's a close friend to me. He comes here, and I just let him in, and he stay. I have had people come in and spend the night. We used to have them come in and spend the night.
Wow.
They say, "Can I stay?" I say, "Yeah, help yourself." We lock them in, go home. They still here when we get back.
Wow.
That's when records were, record business was really booming then, and people was looking for records, and they were collecting. And I still have customers come in, and they'll come in the morning when they open up at 11, and they stay till we close at 6. If I know them well enough, I'll come in at 9 and let them in, lock them in, I go home. When we get ready to open up, they still be here, so, it's good.
Wow.
It's good to know people, and a lot of them know me, so they always call me ahead of time, let me know they're coming. So I know what to do.
There you go. What is the, do you remember any really cool or special records that somebody brought in to sell? Because do you still buy records here?
I do buy some records. Cool records that somebody
Or
brought in.
something that somebody brought in and you were like, oh wow, I haven't seen this in a long time, or I didn't know that.
That record she was talking about, I hadn't seen that one by him. I've seen some records by this guy, but I never seen that LP. I told her, oh, that's different. I hadn't seen that. There's a lot of records. They done went and gone, they come and go. So it's I can't really, give you a
Sure.
name now, because there's been so many that come through, and they were real good records. Sometimes I ask people, do you really want to sell your records? Why don't you go home? They say, we're tired of them. We want to get rid of them.
They take up so much space.
Yeah, they take up space, but then they say, well, you can have them. I said, well, thank you. Then I see something I like, but what can I say? I try not to cheat people. I always ask them. I try to give them a fair share.
And do you go out to any record stores ever?
I used to go. I've been over to Dusty Groove. They've been over here, so we usually try to, if it's something they want, if they come over here, they got it. Either if it's something I want, I go over there and get it. And then there's a guy at Steve out south. He has a record shop, and I used to go to a record shop up north, but they closed down. I can't even remember their name. But I used to go to record shops and look around.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them are gone now, so it's nothing to go look for.
Now you're going to be participating once again in our vinyl fair, the Bin Chickens Vinyl Fair.
Mm-hmm.
How do you decide what you're going to bring to a show like that? Because you've got so much here. How do you decide, okay, I'm going to take these crates of records?
Well, see, what I do is, I know a lot of people like R&B music. A lot of them looking for blues, so I try to round it off. I take a little R&B, certain things, and then I take, from the last show, I know what they asked me for, so I'm going to take some. And then I take the blues, the R&B, I take jazz, and I take 45, some 45, so. And where I'm going now, I don't know, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little hip-hop and disco, because the area they say that I'm in, and maybe hip-hop and disco, so I'm rounding myself off to that. I'm going to take a lot of 12 inches and a lot of hip-hop stuff.
Yeah.
That's what area I'm going to be in now. So we're boxing it up now, getting ready.
Yeah, we're only a week and a half away.
Yeah.
So are you excited about it?
Yes, I am.
Did
I
you
enjoyed it.
Did you enjoy the first one?
My sister very much, and I did, and my son. So I'm looking forward to coming back.
Well, we're looking forward
and
to.
I'm hoping I can bring something that people would like to enjoy, like to see.
Yeah, well, if you bring those, if you bring some 12 inches,
yeah,
I'll definitely be checking those out.
Oh yeah, I'll bring some, cause I got a lot of them here, and I got to go through that stack to see what's left over there in that corner. Yeah.
Find some good stuff for us, Marie.
I'll try. I'll try.
Well, I'd like to thank you for
I
joining
appreciate
me. Thank you for taking the time.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. Y'all made my day.
I'm gonna have to come out to the store though early on a Saturday or something.
Just come.
Spend a
Just
couple
come
hours
and,
here.
And I got gloves. Everybody say it's dusty. That's right. We got the gloves. We got the mask. And we got the
Put a-
crazy cat. So.
Got a crazy white girl running around.
Yeah, she's running
I don't
around.
mean Julie.
I wish Julie take a picture so they know we were talking to the cat and not to her.
What's that?
Will she come over to you? Can we get her on camera?
I don't know if she'll.
Yeah, she'll come.
She'll come.
Yeah.
Come
Call her. She come.
White girl. Come on.
There she go.
Come on. Can you see her?
Yeah.
So she does exist.
Yes, she does exist.
Well, thank you very much again,
Okay.
Marie.
Okay.
We'll
Turn
see
around,
you
give her-
guys.
let her get
We'll
a
see you guys
picture.
at Bin Chickens, November 10th,
Yes. Yeah.
12 noon to 5 p.m. Looking forward to seeing you guys all there.
I'm looking forward to it. I just told my husband. He said, "You going back to that place again?" I said, "I'm going to a different place, but the same people." Yeah. It was good talking to you all.
Well, thank you for
I
taking
wish
the
y'all
time.
could have took an interview with my husband. He's a character. He's a
Well,
character.
I was watching that
He's a
that video
character.
that the Sun Times did,
Yes.
and it was at the end. It was after like it ended, and they were starting to roll the credits.
Uh-huh.
And he said about when he first met you.
Uh-huh. Everybody loves that video.
I don't think Julie's heard that story.
Tell her.
He said so. Now I'm paraphrasing him, but he said that you thought he was in it for the love or something.
Yeah.
And he said was it his mom who brought you around?
His mother introduced me to him.
And she said, "Now go on, take off that jacket." And
Show him my picture of what they was talking
and
about.
he
You
saw
wanna
and he
see a
saw
picture of
he
me?
saw the figure she was working with, and he said, "Oh, Mom, you know how
It's
to pickle."
He said, "Mom, you sure know how to pickle."
You sure know how to pickle.
I have a picture over there that he took when we first went into the photography business. This is over there. Monty got it over here on this rack. Show her that picture. Oh no, you don't have to do that. I'll do it. I'll show you. This is the reason why everybody teased him about me, because I wasn't always a little chunky lady.
Oh, you're not a little chunky lady now. Come on.
Yes,
Marie.
I am a little chunky lady. Oh, you gonna get it? So the guy that works here, my place, he works here. He always tell people, "Don't make fun of my mom." So this is my picture. This is a picture when we were the photography picture he took of us. My sister and I. He was in the photography business, and this is how he started.
This is out of the past, all right.
Yeah. I
Very
was young then. We had our first child, so my sister and I was his artists, his models. We were model for him. He had a lot of pictures at home that he took of us together, and then he would take them out and show the people, and then they would say, "Come back and take my family portraits." And we have all these slides at home of different people. So what I'm gonna do is when I set up my when she starts setting up the eBay and stuff, what I'm gonna do with her Twitter, I'm gonna get some of those slides of the people, and I'm gonna let her put them on there and say, "Do you know who this is?" Because I don't know the people.
That'd be nice.
But I bet some
That'd
of
be
them are
fun.
looking for their pictures, see.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give them. I'm gonna give them.
You get some good stories out of that.
Yeah. So I tell them if here they can come see them or come get them. It'd be nice for them too. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Okay.
Julie, did that go?
It did. I just want to hand up shot this.
Yeah, there's so much stuff
Lisa, you want a picture of you? Since you're in here, you're my bodyguard for the night. It's my granddaughter. She helps me out with people.